From the season opener for the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe just 3 weeks ago in Imola in Emilia-Romagna, when the first race was a red flag because of a storm that would have put the fear of God into Noah himself. It was so biblical, and the second race ran a little bit more straightforwardly with 52 cars on the grid, creating plenty of excitement. We have the same bumper bundle of cars, a few names changed to protect the innocent, but Amaury Bonduel, who will start on pole position here with 51 cars behind him, will be one of our expected championship front runners after having 2 strong results last time out. Alongside him, first front row start for the Vincenzo Sospiri racing team of the season, it's Michele Michelotto. That didn't really have too much in the way of good fortune, but had plenty of pace in Imola. Let's see if he can exploit the better weather conditions here and perhaps get himself well up the order. Our cars are separated into 4 different classes. Pros at the front, pretty self-explanatory. Pro-Am, ditto, an Am class, and for the real newcomers, the Lamborghini Cup. Now, all of them will be battling each other in their own categories, and of course, every other car on the grid, because they're racing drivers and they want to be in front of that car right there. So they will all have that in mind. But the greater need is to try and make sure that you're as well up in your own category as possible. Looking there at the 4th qualifying car, the first of the Iron Lynx Lamborghinis in this race. Iron Lynx running 3 Lamborghinis in the World Endurance Championship, which the Super Trofeo Europe supports this weekend. 2 in the LMGT3 category, and the new Lamborghini SC63 hypercar, the most exciting product of Santa Agata Bolognese in many a long year in terms of racing equipment. Igor Orochev for Artline starts on the inside of row 3, 5th fastest in qualifying. That distinctive chrome blue machine. Alongside him, Hampus Eriksson, red, white and black Blauhaus livery car. Car number 31 lines up on the outside of row 3. These cars all in the pro class. We don't get our first non-pro car until row 5 of the grid. We'll get to them in a moment. Hello Sweden on the side of Hampus Eriksson's car. Hello Sweden, a very, very well-known marketing brand over 4 or 5 decades now, probably. They've supported a lot of Swedish drivers across the decades through a whole number of different categories. There's a great view of this enormous grid. And the first of the Team Oregon cars in their familiar Neapolitan ice cream colours, pink, yellow and green. And this particular Oregon car with the green windscreen strip and green mirrors and wing end highlights. That is car number 34, and that's been started by Paul Leve, and that too in the pro class. Well, he and his teammate are 11th in the standings after a slightly chaotic weather-wise and racing-wise Imola weekend. And again, hopefully, the safety car that you can see there at the front, unlikely to be used in the race, or at least hopefully won't be used in the race, at least not for weather. Iron Lynx's second car with the orange highlights there, again with the familiar Iron Lynx yellow. And that car qualified 8th on the grid by Georgi Dimitrov. There he is in the car. 2 qualifying sessions, effectively 1 long track session, but everybody returns to the pits and then starts off again for qualifying 2. So 1 big track session this morning, and that determined the qualifying session 1, the grid for race 1, qualifying session 2, the grid for race 2. So you don't always have the same pole man in any of the classes. You don't always have the same starting order in the classes, because you've got to do it not once, but twice. There are various different ways of skinning that particular cat. Fastest lap, second fastest lap in a session and so on. But having 2 distinct sessions, well, that's important here because a lot of these cars are 2-driver cars. So each of the drivers gets a chance to qualify. If you're driving on your own, hogging all the glory for yourself, then obviously you bear a greater financial burden because you're paying all the bills to the team for running the car and for any damage you might incur. But it does mean you get all of the driving time and you get to qualify twice. So, yeah, you get what you pay for. More bang for your buck, I suppose. About half the field are two-driver cars in our 4 classes, and again, the other half are single-driver cars. And that makes a little bit of a difference in the mandatory pit stop in the middle of the race. It's a 50-minute duration race, each of these 2 races, one this evening, one tomorrow morning, and midway through, between minute 20 and minute 30, the pit window will be open for teams to make their mandatory change. Well, down on the grid is Dakota Jane. Let's see who she has got to chat to us. She's right on the front row of this bumper grid.
I am definitely down here on the grid, sitting with Giles. Now, this is your home race. The weather is looking not so good. Now, we had this in Imola before, and it turned very, very quickly. You're from Belgium, so tell me, what's it going to be like?
Yeah, honestly, I think it should be fine. I don't see too many dark clouds, but yeah, I hope it will be fine. Last race we were a bit unlucky with the weather conditions. Hopefully now we will stay dry.
Currently 6th in the championship standing, so these 2 races are really important for you and your teammate to get back up into contention. Starting on the outside on P2, now you've got a little bit of room to play with, you know, turn 1. What have you advised your teammate to do?
I have a lot of confidence in Mattia. He knows what to do, so I think we can come out of the first corner in a decent position, and then we focus on the win. Same focus, same goal like in the beginning. We are here to win the championship and nothing else.
Would you go on the inside or the outside?
Sorry?
Inside or the outside?
What?
For turn 1.
I prefer inside, but if it's outside, it's outside.
Good luck to your teammate. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Gilles Stadsbader, Michele Michelotto in the car, and the young Belgian was right. They were 4th in race 1, a big fat 0 in terms of points for race 2, and it's those that are going to kill you in the championship hunt. So they cannot afford to have another no score here, because then you start to drop behind, and then it puts more pressure on you for the remaining races in the championship. Well, let's catch up with Dakota Jane back on the grid.
Amari, now another home race for you. You had your first win here in a Super Trofeo car in 2022, so this track holds good memories for you, and you're in a great starting position. How are you feeling ahead of the race?
For sure, it's important to win, because a lot of friends come to see me during the race. I think we are a very good car for the win. I do my best for the win.
We just spoke to the guys next to you in the VSR car. They're feeling very confident. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. It's fast, but I think we're the potential for the win.
Good luck. Merci. Bonne chance.
Amaury Bonduel from Belgium, not the only car from Belgium, as you can see there. Number 27 car with the Belgian colours all over it, Stéphane Lemaire. And that car, about 2/3 of the way up the grid. And a big crowd still on hand here. It's rumoured to be 90,000 fans who already have tickets for tomorrow for the 6 Hours of Spa, the World Endurance Championships' 3rd encounter. So they will be trying their best to get in bright and early tomorrow, and it should be bright. This morning, 6 a.m, it was absolutely gorgeous, crystal blue skies and clear and bright and sunny, and it's been warm and sunny all day long. Track temperatures are high as a result. They'll be 30 degrees, which is 25 higher than they were in Imola. So it's going to be a very, very different feel for these drivers and these cars. And of course, Imola is a much tighter, narrower, slower circuit, less high-speed corners, less high average speed. It's a shorter lap, more chicanes, more second and third gear stuff. Here, you're going to be wailing those Lamborghini V10s right to the ragged edge of their power band. A lot of the laps, something like 74, 75% of the lap, will be at wide open throttle. This is make no bones about it, this is a very, very fast racetrack, and these cars they will be absolutely hanging on. So the drivers doing their very best to benefit from their good qualifying or make up from a disappointment in qualifying and fight their way through to the front. And the great thing about Spa is that there are plenty of places to overtake. These cars have got plenty of speed, plenty of power, decent aero balance, but looking after your tyres and looking after your brakes for the better part of an hour of frantic racing is going to be absolutely crucial. And if you have got a partner waiting for you in the pits, handing over a car that's got no brakes is not going to endear you to them. Dimitri Jalbert there in the car and getting ready to go. 74 machine in the middle of the field. Shares with Anthony Nara. Dimitri, very experienced one-make competitor in a whole host of different championships. Permanent smile on his face. He's a really entertaining guy to be around. So clear the grid, engine started. Looks like everybody has fired up successfully. And the marshals, the only ones left on the grid, the marshals, the mechanics, the only ones left on the grid with the orange armband. They're the guys that stay with the car just to make sure everything fires up. Now, of course, they've got to clear out, long run, uphill towards the first corner from this starting grid as we get ready for our final formation lap. "26 rows of Lamborghini Gallardo Super Trofeo Evo 2s. We are ready to get this race underway. 52 cars. They're being led away by the gold BDR competition machine of Amaury Bonduelle. Currently lies second in the standings. Target Racing, Oliver Söderström, car number 9. He's on row 5 of the grid. Black car with lime green highlights and mirrors. We'll see him coming through shot in a moment or two. Behind those CLRT Schumacher cars, he is the points leader. And he has got some work to do here. 52 cars on the grid, 4 different classes. The most numerous of those is the Pro class, but only 10 cars get points in the race. So it's real pressure to try and perform. None of the classes are going to be a walk away. Amaury Bonduelle from Mattia Michelotto, the front row, then Alberto Di Folco for Rexel Villaubre-Course and Giorgio Amati on row 2 of the grid. Egor Orudchev, Hampus Eriksson, Paul Levey and Georgi Dimitrov on rows 3 and 4. Oliver Söderström, the points leader, ahead of our Pro-Am pole leader, car number 2 from Boots and VDS, and that is Roy Meuhaus. Then the AM pole leader, Stefan Tribadoni, he's in the 66 Vincenzo Sospiri car. He starts a row behind on row 6 of the grid. And our Lamborghini Cup pole sitter, you'll see on row 14, that's the blue numbers, Donovan Privitello. He leads the qualifying field and he's 2.5 rows ahead of Karim Oj, his closest class rival, and Shota Abshaza just behind him, 3rd in that Lamborghini Cup class. So the classes are represented on the cars by different colours in the top right-hand corner of the windscreen and on your timing screen as well. Orange for the pros, yellow for Pro-Am, green for the AMs, and blue for the Lamborghini Cup cars. And again, 26 rows, 52 cars. Now, Tim Stender didn't get a chance to set a time in the Leipzig Motorsport 88 car. Stewards have allowed them to start, though. They are new to the championship this weekend. They did not compete in Imola, one of 3 different lineups and a couple of new teams. We've also got some drivers who did race in Imola who are absent for various different reasons, business commitments, other race commitments. So the field predominantly is much as it was in Emilia-Romagna, but with a little bit of housekeeping changing going on. And as ever, trying to build heat in the tyres. The easiest way is by accelerating and braking, and particularly the braking. Getting the brakes nice and hot transfers that heat into the tyre rim, and that helps to keep the warmth in the nitrogen that inflates these tyres. They don't use air because air has moisture in, and moisture changes the pressure of the tyre with temperature, and that's out of the control of the driver and the engineer. So our leading car, the fabulous Lamborghini Urus, heads them around this historic Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And now, as they come out and start the long climb, or continue the long climb from the lowest point of the circuit to the high point at the bus stop chicane, they're in 2x2 formation behind the leading car. And Amaury Bonduelle, in that gold machine, is the man who has to pace the field. And for every driver, keeping pace with the car beside you and not running into the car in front of you is actually a lot more difficult than it seems. This is a very high-powered, high-stakes motorway traffic rolling roadblock. And you can see, although the front few rows are close together, the rest of the field taking its time to catch up. So our race director will be watching to try and make sure that it is as clean and as fair a start for the 52nd car on the grid as it is for the first. Leading car has pulled into the pit lane. We are getting ready to go green for 50 minutes of racing. Round 3 of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe 2024 is underway. The lights go green, and the chrome blue car darting out of Egor Orodchev. The Artline car has already made up one row on the grid, looking to try and go third into turn 1 behind the leaders. He'll be fourth, gets a little tag from 42, and that was the slower starting Giorgio Amati, but he survived. Amati, I think, got in front of him. At least one of the Iron Dames cars, side by side down the hill. Matteo Michelotto, with more white on his car, holds the line. He goes across the curbs, but so too does the Villorba course car of Alberto De Falco. And Alberto, like so many, the wrong side of the curbs coming out of Eau Rouge and over Rédillon. So there may be a whole host of penalties. Given that it's the first lap, possibly, unless somebody's been really flagrant in making up positions, I think the stewards might let those go. With 52 cars door handle to door handle coming out of Eau Rouge, there's not much real estate to spare. So fortunately, it seems everybody has got through. That's normally when we see cars triggered into a spin in the background, but not so far. Stewards will look at the start as a matter of course. Amaury Bonduelle has nothing to worry about, I think, nor Michele Michelotto. But in third place, Alberto De Falco, getting ahead of Giorgio Amati. And Amati shuffled down to 5th position. The I-Lynx car didn't start particularly well. 33, running in the top 10. Just outside the top 10. Lots of jockeying for position. Safety car already back in its standby position at pit exit, just in case. One of the changes that has been notable around Spa since the temporary closure for COVID is the amount of gravel traps that have been insinuated here. Oh, a little bit of contact. Out wide onto the curbs, 97, Giuseppe Chieri. And he was just tagged on the inside by Cantor Antonell. Chieri losing a spot, so too Lewandowski. Let's take a look again here. This is at La Source, the hairpin. This is turn 1. Oh, there was contact. Yellow 49, John Scale, the Iron Lynx car. And there's that little bit of contact. And again, cars both up on their toes there, down into Campus. Looks like they both escaped without either taking to the runoff area. So stewards will look at lap 1 in turn 4. That is the brow in Rédillon, where so many cars cut on the inside. But again, I think it's going to be really tough to try and make penalties stick there. The Oregon car going very wide indeed and shuffling a rival off towards the gravel traps. That's the problem now on the exit of La Source. There is a gravel trap there. Battle for 5th position. This is the 42 car of Giorgio Amati. Amati just ahead of the chrome blue of Egor Orodchev. Wheel to wheel, position picked up by Andrea Frasinetti. That car now in the Pro-Am category. He and Inacio Zanon started in the Pro category last time out. Oh, and again, battle for position. Position taken back there. Who started that? Milos Pavlovic, I think, who shares with Alessio Ruffini. Milos Pavlovic qualifying that 33 car on the second row of the grid in Imola. Didn't quite have that sort of pace here, and that was a battle just outside the top 20. It is Milos Pavlovic that started the number 33 machine. Meanwhile, the leader, Amaury Bonduelle, just creeping away a little bit from Michele Michelotto. 3/4 of a second the advantage. And that contact in turn one of the race between the 32 car. It was the Pedamale and Paolo Bilieri car, run by ASR, that was the victim of the contact, but actually looked like the Iron Lynx car that made contact, the 49 car, was the one that came off worst with that crumpled nose. But there it is. Looks like it's sort of survived with those pale blue highlights. John Scale driving on his own. Leaders once more out of the bus stop. We heard from Gilles Stadsbader, the young Belgian who shares that second place car, the white car with the yellow and blue highlights, with Mattia Michelotto. Their target is to win here and win big, win both races to get themselves right back where they feel they should be, at the top of the pile. Battle under braking is going to pick up 2 spots there. Great move by Unique Racing's Jerzy Sprinkovic. Picked up 2 on the inside at La Source. Normally, if you're that ambitious, it all goes very horribly, crunchingly and expensively wrong. He judged that superbly. Sprinkovic up a couple of spots. Oh, and trouble for one of the Oregon cars. So facing the wrong way is the Davide Roda and Pietro Perellini machine. Did he get a tag from behind? It's almost always assisted. It was assisted there. And a tag just at the apex from Hulun Han in the Target Racing number 39 car. So the Chinese driver making contact with his rival. Now then, out of turn 4 and up the long Kemmel Straight. Here comes a battle for position. Dark blue car is the Leipert Motorsport car. Tim Stender, battle for 48th place. Now don't forget that Stender in 88, the blue car with the white highlights, started last, so he was 52nd on the grid. Goes by John Seal. Seal with that contact earlier on as well. Now he's under pressure from another of the Oregon cars, dives down the inside. So position change there as well. That's on my other timing screen. That's Davide Roda moving up as well ahead of John Seal. So Seal in the Iron Lynx car has lost a couple of places on this lap. And everywhere the cameras look, there are door handle to door handle battles being fought out. So our current class leaders, you watch the action, I'll look at the time. Oh, I can't really, can I? Current class leaders, overall, Amaury Bonduelle, he's leading Pro. Boots and VDS number 2 car of Rui Meijas, that's in 9th place. Make that 8th, make that 9th. It's very close, his battle with Hampus Eriksson, as we watch the 61 car. That is Leonardo Caglioni and Enzo Girazzi's car. And under braking, good move by Milos Pavlovic. Driver from Serbia and Macedonia making up another spot into the top 20 now, Milos. Remember him having some very entertaining races here in top flight single-seaters. World Series by Renault particularly has some very big races here. Now, Michele Michelotto, fastest race lap so far, and he has closed 4/10 of the 7/10 gap down to Amaury Bonduelle, and more than that, it's down from 0.76 a couple of laps ago to 0.21. Michele Michelotto really now going to put the pressure on Amaury Bonduelle. 41 minutes of the race remain, and don't forget, when we get to 30 minutes of the race remaining, that's when the pit window opens. And so between yourself and your co-driver, if you have one, you work out who's going to do more, and perhaps depending on where you are in a battle, if you're stuck behind somebody and can't get by, you might duck into the pits a lap or two earlier to try and give your teammate some racing room. Lamborghini Cup battle down towards the tail of the field. John Seal, Serge Doms and Charlie Martin. And there's trouble. There's our Belgian livery car, Stefan Lemaire, at the side of the track. That looks like it might have been assisted. No, it wasn't. Just ran out wide, all on his own. He owns some. Did he hit anything? No. So hopefully he'll get going again. Back with the leaders. Amaury Bonduelle under pressure. Michele Michelotto showing his nose. More in anticipation than hope, I think. Bonduelle running out very wide, exceeding track limits there. He can't do that too often, or he's going to be in trouble. Oh, Michelotto looking on the inside of the hairpin at La Source. Yellow flags are out at turn 9. That's down at Rivage, or Bruxelles as it's called these days. Amaury Bonduelle just creeping another half a car length away from Mattia Michelotto in second place. A bit on his own, Alberto De Falco, then Paul Levey and Giorgio Amati. Amati there with a yellow car with the pink highlights. Pink, yellow and green is is Paul Levey in the Oregon team car. And again, under braking here at the top of the hill at Les Combes. Mattia Michelotto is all over the back of Amaury Bonduelle. It's a similar scene here in the battle for fourth. Oregon's Paul Levey ahead of the yellow car of Giorgio Amati and Igor Orodchev. Orodchev has the lap record here, by the way, not in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe, but in LMP1. So he is an outright sports car lap record holder on this track. A little bit of gravel trapping, not going to help the tyres much, I'm afraid. And that's Milos Pavlovic. Pavlovic losing a place there as a result, I think to Slovakia's Stefan Rosina. So the lead duo through Piff Path. Still with them, Alberto De Falco. I think that gap is actually just creeping down a fraction, but De Falco is all on his own in the white, black and blue car from Rexall Viorbe, of course. And back at the tail of the field, Charlie Martin having a look at the inside of Serge Doms in the DS Racing car, goes through, outbrakes herself at the top of the hill, but no, hangs on. This is the three-element corner at Les Combes. The old road track didn't turn right here, went straight over the hill, down the other side, through past the farmhouse in the Master Kink, and on down through Bernaville, Malmedy, Stavelot, and then started to climb all the way back up through the valley. And when they drop down the hill here, get out of Piff Path and Campus, and they finally pick up the road at the bottom of the hill in Cours Paul Frère, and back up on the route of the old road circuit. Very much like Le Mans, which still uses part of the old road circuit, quite a lot of the old road circuit, with some modern elements thrown in. Le Mans not shortened though in the way that Spa-Francorchamps was between the end of the 70s and the early 80s when it reopened. It still retains so much of its old character. It's a track that whenever racing drivers look at the calendar of the series they're in and they see tracks like Spa on, they just rub their hands with glee. Mattia Michelotto, rather, looking to go around the outside of Amaury Bonduelle, does so, but runs out very wide onto the gravel. Big moment for him there. This is a great chance to change for second place for Alberto De Falco. White, black and blue. Michelotto with gravel all over the tyres. De Falco really needs to force the issue now here, really should be pushing hard, because Michelotto will take a while to recover from this. He tried to go around the outside in the third element there at Les Combes. 4 wheels off on the gravel, a big Code Brown moment for him there, but he survives the moment and the pressure from behind. Unfortunately for him, though, means he's now a second and a half back rather than a quarter of a second back. And if he can't shake off Alberto Di Folco, trying anything else might be a little tough. This is Artline's Nigel Bailly, one of our 2 race winners in the chrome, blue and red machine. He's in 41st place in the AM class, just ahead of Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, as we get back to top 10 battling. In fact, top 15 battling. Rodrigo Testa in 50, in 15th place. Whoa! That's a bit of a late send, and that's the danger now, is that enormous sea of gravel on the outside at Les Combes. Way down the order, that battle that we saw with the Lamborghini Cup drivers earlier on. Back now towards the front of the field, Oregon's Paul Levey with the pink nose under pressure from Giorgio Amati. And behind him, Igor Orodchev with the chrome blue, and Orodchev being caught by Georgi Dimitrov. Hampus Eriksson in the Target Racing car in 8th place, not really making much impression, despite the fact that these 2 pairs of cars are really dicing hard with each other. Eriksson, you can see in 8th place, just some way off the tail of that little group. There he is, red, white and black, sort of all on his own. And Ruin Mayhouse, who's leading the Pro-Am class, rather, is actually probably closer to him than he is to Dimitrov, just ahead. But again, oh, a big out fumble here as they catch one of the slower cars. Driving around the outside of Oliver Freimut. Freimut on the far side of the circuit, but the Lippert Motorsport car piling the pressure on here. This is 88, Tim Stender. Diving down the inside on Pietro Perellini and Davide Roda's car. Squeezing through. Moving up the order, having started last, now up to 43rd place, ahead of Davide Roda and Oliver Freimut. He will now set sail and try and chase down Nigel Bailly. Bailly down in about 8th or 9th place. In the rain on Saturday evening, although it was so dark it was nearly the dead of night in Imola, Nigel Bailly ended up the surprise winner. I think the most surprised person of all was Nigel, but he certainly accepted it in good grace. Sometimes those things happen. Good little battle here as well. Trying to find a bit of traction in the yellow car with the black roof. Giorgio Amati all over the back of Levey, sends it down the inside, outbreaks himself, and Levey, like a bullfighter, whips the multicoloured cape away. And Levey knew that was coming and did well to leave the door open the steering, leaves his turn in late, but oh boy, nearly took a layer of paint off his nose and the tail of the car that was temporarily in front of him. But that's the way these battles work. Oh, and trail trouble there. And that is the number 14 car in the gravel. Now, was there contact there? Davide Roda has got a little bit of damage. Too wide down into Eau Rouge. You have to be very aware of the other fast-moving metal there. It's a really, really demanding corner in any car when you're on your own. And in the middle there, Donovan Privitello, car number 8, the white car with the blue and black stripes. He is our Lamborghini Cup leader and battling with Joachim Galasch in front of him. And right behind. Oh, and it's really disappointing end to the race for Davide Roda. Just loops it into a spin, out of Piff Puff, rolls backwards into the gravel, and there he is stuck. And the safety car is going to have to come out with 1 minute and 30 seconds before the pit window opens. So the pit window will be pushed back a little, I think, to allow the safety car and the rescue crews to do their job. Unfortunately, Davide Roda out of the race. The other car out of the race as well. Did we see why Karim Oj disappeared? The Saudi driver, Karim, raced in the World Endurance Championship a few times, raced in LMP2 at Le Mans, and of course one of the family behind TAG, Technique d'Avant-Garde, who funded the Porsche Turbo program that was so successful in Formula One with McLaren. But there, I'm afraid, an ignominious end for Davide Roda. He'll be really disappointed. And is that the second place car of Mattia Michelotto? No, it's not. Okay, be still my beating heart. That's a sister VSR car. That's the Frasinetti and Zanon car. Thought, no, can't be spinning out of second place behind the safety car. That would not be good news. Mind you, Ignacio Zanon, who started that car, is, what, 5th in Pro-Am, so not exactly ideal for him to be spinning behind the safety car either. There's your leader, Amaury Bonduel. So Mattia Michelotto, having dropped away from the leader, is now right on his tail, closer than he's been pretty much since La Source on lap 1 because of the safety car. And look at the side of the track, by the way. Look at all the fans. I mean, just look at them. Some of them are wandering around to a different part of the racetrack. Some of them perhaps looking for a different vantage point to get some more photos. And some of them may be looking for a food vendor. I have to say, my stomach is telling me that that might be the right time. Now then, inside 30 minutes. And so there are teams making their pit stops. Traditionally, in an endurance race, when the safety car is out, the pit lane is closed. However, it does open once the safety car queue has gone by. And so we are seeing the first of our pit stops. So 97 is in. There's the GG Magic Motorsport. Giuseppe Guerri. Into is Han Huilin, the Chinese driver in the number 39 Target Racing car. They are the only two so far to have stopped. And you can see on the far left of your picture the Manitou coming in to lift and separate the number 14 Oregon car from the gravel. That's a proper racing driver. Davide Roda's got a fag on. He's bummed a fag off the marshals and he's having a smoke. Well, you know, fair enough. He wouldn't be the first racing driver and he won't be the last. Grabs a cigarette when he's been dumped into the gravel or dumped himself. Wonder when that car's going to go into the Roda Classic Cars showroom. Pit window is open, has now officially been notified by Race Direction. And the incident between cars 75, Shota, didn't see that one, at Xava, and 93, I don't think we saw that one, Karim Oj. Well, that's clearly part of the reason why we no longer have Karim in the race. And everybody else is coming in. Here we go, stand by your beds. Who's not going to stop? Well, the safety car driver hasn't pulled into the pit lane. He has pulled out in front, or he stayed out on track. And the race leader might just be coming up behind him in the form of Giuseppe Guerri. Nobody else has gone by the pit lane, and I couldn't possibly understand why anybody would, other than if you're a 2 or 3 or 4 car team, you might say, okay, 2 cars have gone by, 3 cars have gone by, you might say, the safety car's going to be out for another lap, keep going round. The real problem then is if you're wrong, but the safety car is going to be out for another lap, I think. So how many haven't gone? 3, 4 cars have gone by, including Nigel Bailly. Is Nigel Bailly going to win this overall? He's currently in the top 4. And, dear, Shota Akzava, who is leading the Lamborghini Cup class, second, because he's not gone into the pits yet, but unfortunately, of course, under investigation for an incident with Karim Ogier. Now, the fact that the two of them have potentially had an incident and one of them's no longer in the race does not necessarily mean the one that's not in the race didn't cause it. We didn't see it. At least, if you saw it, I was looking at something else, so we didn't see. 5-second penalty for car 76, TL. Time limit, track limits, and 72 and 76. So 72 is Diego Locanto and Stefano Pezzucci's car, and 76 is Jean-Baptiste Meller. Now, Jean-Baptiste Meller has earned that penalty. The good news here is that Jean-Baptiste Meller is driving on his own, so he'll have to serve the penalty as well. What's a real pain is when your teammate comes in and gives you the car with a penalty that you've got to then serve that you didn't even earn. That's a pain. Of course, when he comes in with the lead and gives it to you and you didn't earn that, that's the other side of that coin. So, you know, there's that. Okay, out goes the car that was started by Charlie Martin. Is Charlie driving on around this weekend? No? Yes. So still in the car. Timing screen will take a little while to catch up, but it is our race leader is currently the Pro-Am leader currently as well, Guido Lucchetti, head of Shota Akzava, who is leading in Lamborghini Cup. Third is Filippo Lazzaroni for DL Racing, who is second in Pro-Am, and then Nigel Bailly, Oliver Freymut and Rodrigue Guillon are the remaining 3 drivers who have not stopped. So leading those who have stopped, number 6, that car, the white car with the thin blue and yellow stripes. Come. Hold it. Not that one, that one. He's the race leader, the gold car behind. He's not the race leader. So there was a change in the pits. Gilles Stadsbader leads from Amaury Bonduelle with Giorgio Amati in third. What does the pits tell us?
Fresh out the car. Now, tell me what it's like on track. The pit lane was very busy. We just saw a very, very intense pit lane. So we don't really know where you've come out yet, but it was looking good before the pit stops.
Yeah, we had a pretty consistent pace. The car felt pretty good. Started to lose the rear by the end of the stint, but I think that's pretty normal with the degradation of the tires. Honestly, I had a pretty calm stint. Not too much action from my side, but did what we need to do because we're in Pro-Am, obviously. And yeah, I just need to check where we came out. We'll see.
As you said, you got regraded to Pro-Am this morning. Obviously, you're a very healthy lead at the moment. Do you think your teammate, you know, Belgian teammate, you've got good odds on your side, will be able to keep that and bring it home with the win?
Yeah, I'm sure if nobody runs into us like last race, we'll have a good time. And this is his home track, like you said, so I have full confidence in him.
He even told me he was from only 15 minutes away. Isn't that great?
Yeah, it's he goes. I got to go back to the hotel, and he gets to go back home. So, but it's nice. I'm happy for him.
Let's see what Renault Coupons can do. Thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Our non-stop drivers are now, press the right microphone button, are now coming into the pit lane, and so those who were the leaders will now regain the lead behind the safety car. And Gilles Stadsbader, the number 6 car, comes out ahead of Amaury Bonduelle, car number 28. And that is purely as a result, as happened in race 1 in Imola, of the pit stops being under safety car. Why? Hang on a minute. Why is the number 15 now behind the safety car? Have they not stopped, or has the safety car somehow picked up the wrong car? Because number 15 is not the race leader. Not by a long way. He's down in 48th place, but he is first in the safety car queue. Anyway, the deal is the white car with the blue and yellow narrow stripes has the lead because the gold car, Amory Bonduelle, who is now second, who was the leader, came in like a car length in front, a tenth or 2/10 of a second. Because he's driving solo, instead of 60 seconds stationary, he has to spend 63 seconds stationary, and a two-driver lineup spend 60 seconds stationary. Now, that is because the driver who is getting into a car doesn't have a feel for the brakes, the tyres, and the handling, and any damage, and so on and so forth, and the track. But a driver who is just coming into the pit lane and then rejoining has all of that. And so that's perceived, probably correctly, as a slender advantage. And so there is a slender deficit handed to them in the pit lane. You've got to spend 3 seconds longer sitting there. Now, if you've come in a second and a half in front, you're going to lose the lead. But if you've pulled away 5 seconds at the beginning, you'll still go out back in front. But when you're behind the safety car, there is no margin at all, unless your closest rival is a long way back in traffic. And again, we hadn't started Lappery, so that tends not to happen. So that's why we had that lead change. Still don't quite know. 15 has now gone from 48th place and is now being shown as the leader. Benedetto Strignana in the number 15 car is being shown as the race leader. Well, that was started by Alberto Di Folco, and they were third, fourth. Okay, all right, that's doable. So yeah, the timing screen misled me, I'm afraid, because he was shown as being way down at the bottom, outside 45th place a lap ago when I looked at the screen. But the race director and the safety car driver have managed to pick up the right car. So Benedetto Strignano, we could be looking at our third different winner of the season. And the second big surprise as well, I gotta say. And then possibly the biggest surprise so far. A little bit of rub-in racing in the bus stop here. Nice little replay. Slow motion action. Number 10, Lamborghini Stuttgart car. Oh, and that little tag early on. Well, that was Davide Roda getting spun there. And this is on lap 1 as well. Davide Roda got tagged around in the first corner. And that contact on that right rear in the very first corner, I wonder if possibly that led to the car then breaking away from him out of Piff Paff towards the end of his stint. That put him in the gravel. 88 around the outside. Nathan Hearn, the Aussie. His colours on the car. Tim Stender started that car in last place. And there's the deformable front end of the Iron Lynx 49 car, which still seems to be attached to the front of John Scales' Lamborghini. So I'm not quite sure, having crumpled like that during contact. Oh, and this is not good news. Not good news at all. Now, why has Hampus Eriksson rolled to a halt, and why was he so far back? He was in the top 10 before the pit stops, and is now not, it would seem, going to finish. Oliver Fremont is in the pit lane. I can hear the engine running below us. I don't know why he is still in the pit lane. This is not a pit stop. This is a second pit call. Safety car remains out. The pit stop window has closed. Everybody stopped within that window. Possible exception of the first 2 pit callers, but I'm not going to make that call. That's down to the stewards. 5-second time penalty. The third such to be applied. This is for Jean-Baptiste Mella for time limit, for track limits. And the lights will go off on the safety car. It is due to come in this lap. Drive-through penalty for 3. We don't have a car 1. Car 95, Baptiste Moulin, new Belgian driver. Car number 1, which doesn't exist, and car number 26, which is Cyril Satilils. They will all have drive-through penalty. Okay, so it's not 1, Is it 15? Is that how they got out ahead of everybody else from third place coming in behind the safety car? I wonder. Because otherwise you sort of wonder how you come in third, stop for the same amount of time, and then get out in front when you're in the safety car queue. However, again, that is for the stewards. Safety car pulls in, has pulled in. We are going to go green, and Benedetto Strignano will lead us into the final 16 minutes and 20-odd seconds of the race. Gilles Stadsbader behind in second, Amaury Bonduelle in third. Jesse Salmon-Jalto, the Finn, in fourth in the 42 Iron Lynx car with the pink highlights. And right behind with the orange highlights, which is so different, is Georgi Dimitrov, and then the chrome blue of Egor Orodchev, the outright LMP1 lap record holder here at Spa-Francorchamps. Very different speed, I think it would have been. Oh, look, and 3 of the top 6 go straight across. And if that was Amaury Bonduelle, that's why he's gained an advantage behind Gilles Stadsbader up the inside. Under braking at Les Combes, he goes through into second place. But we probably need to see that again, or more trouble. And that is 16, that's Andrea Frasinetti. Don't forget that Ignazio Zanon spun that early, just during the safety car, actually early in the safety car period. And it's now been spun by its replacement driver, and cars everywhere. Pick the bones out of there. Oh, stewards, there's going to be cars off everywhere. Now, if you cut the corner there at the top of the hill, you have to show that you have lost ground. Who are we seeing here? Comprehensively out, braking themselves. Ah, okay, so that's where Ignazio spun it. Andrea, I beg your pardon, Ignazio spun it beforehand. So Benedetto Strignano leads the white car with the blue and black, or the black car with the white and blue highlights. They have a variety of different ways of using that colour scheme over the Viorba Corsa cars. Amaury Bonduelle in second, Gilles Stadsbader in third, but he's under pressure. Look at that, he's got a queue of cars behind it. Jesse Salmon-Jalto, Georgi Dimitrov, the 2 yellow cars, Egor Orodchev, and off is 34. So that's another of the Oregon cars facing the wrong way. Who's driving that one now? That is Lazio Tot. Oh, God, going out very wide and a big pile-up. And again, I think we are going to see a safety car intervention here. That is a 3-car accident on the exit of Piff Paff. Safety car is out. No question at all. Race director immediately left with no possible alternative there. So that is Viorba's Luciano Privitello. You saw him. The cars you didn't see, car number 77, Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, and Adrian Lewandowski. So there's 77. He got together with Lewandowski, or followed Lewandowski off, I think. And lots of debris. It's not aerodynamically efficient, is it? On the back of the 69 car, who did sort of avoid all that. But there's 8, Luciano Privitello, Alfredo Hernandez Ortega, you saw going off in 77. Safety car is on the Kemmel Straight. Pick up the leaders again. Well, here's an opportunity, perhaps, to see a replay of turn 4 on the last lap when they came out of Eau Rouge, where 2 or 3 of the yellow stroke gold coloured cars were the wrong side of the white line. And if one of them was Amaury Bonduelle, then he ain't going to be in second place for much longer. Oh dear, bit of unintentional rally crossing there from Andrea Frasinetti. And then went on to spin the car. Or was that post-spin? I think that was post-spin. Number 8, Luciano Privitello, being winched out of the gravel. He's not driving out. That's the recovery vehicle has got him on a winch. Leaders come through behind the safety car. Flatbed is waiting for the Team Oregon car. So that's Laszlo Todt. Right, fired up, sunshine. If you can get it going, you can get it going. I think Todt has more issues than that. Looks like the car has decided that it has done enough for the day. Safety car remains out. Clock continues to count. Dakota Jane in the pit lane. Let's see if we can catch up with the Viorba Corsa team and Alberto Di Folco.
Alberto Di Folco, looks like it's in your favour now. P1 at the moment, and looks like the car's running very well. How are you feeling?
Very good. First of all, I want to say that I'm very happy to be back in Lamborghini for the Super Trofeo. It's always very challenging, amazing championship. And now we are P1 because we were a little bit more lucky in the pit stop. So we just, after the safety car, we were in P1, and now another safety car. So we cross the finger. We will see how I will finish.
Now, as you said, you're a very experienced driver in Lamborghini Super Trofeo and a very well-known driver. Is there anything that you have passed on to Benny? You know, any kind of advice that you've given him?
Yeah, this is what we are trying to do with Benny, but he is already very fast. He's a very fast driver, so I think we will make a good championship. And yes, experienced, but a little bit older, so maybe a little bit slower. We will see at the end of the championship.
Now, I understood before Benny actually got in the car that he may have not been feeling very well. How would you, advise him now that he's, leading the race? Do you think those feelings just go away and I'll deal with it after?
I took the radio and I cannot say what I say to Benny, but for sure the feelings went away, I'm sure.
In bocca al lupo. Good luck for the rest of the race.
Grazie, grazie. Ciao.
Yeah, adrenaline does funny things to you. First of all, it makes you feel sick. And secondly, it overcomes the sick feeling. It does strange things. Well, there's the ASR car number 3 of Adrian Lewandowski. So that Lamborghini Milano machine is going no further. And Alfredo Hernandez Ortega climbs out of his car as well. He's firmly buried there in the gravel in that gold 77 car. It's his teammate, Amaury Bonduel, who just jumped up to second ahead of Gilles Stadsbader. There's nothing about turn 4 yet come up, but three cars are under investigation for pit stop infringements, including Nigel Bailly, who was our first winner, one of our first race winners last time out in Imola. So 40, 24 as well, the AKF Motorsport car of Oliver Freimut. Well, he made a second stop as well, so not sure which of his pit stops is under investigation. And 75, Shota Abchaza, who appears to be under investigation for almost every notifiable offence. He's not having the cleanest of races, it's fair to say, I think. Incident at turn 13 and 14 between those three cars that we've just seen, 38 and 77. From the little bit that we saw, and the stewards will have more because they'll have telemetry and so on, did a little bit look like Alfredo Hernandez Ortega followed Adrian Lewandowski off into the gravel. What we saw didn't look like there was contact that had triggered it, but again, what we saw was not always, or is not always the whole picture, and what we saw, I'm not sure there was the whole picture either. So we will leave that for the stewards to decide. We'll get to you on that one tomorrow. By tomorrow morning, there will be a decision. 8 minutes on the clock and counting. Safety car still out here. Let's catch up with Dakota Jane in the pits.
Now, Michaela, we've had a lot of safety cars this race. You were in the car before. We saw you have a little bit of a touch with the gravel. What happened there?
Nothing, honestly nothing. It's difficult stay near Bonduel because I have a little bit understeer, but it's okay. It's the race.
Now, you said you have a bit of understeer. Well, Gilles filled that in the car as well. Is that the disadvantage you think you would have over Amaury?
Honestly, I don't know. So now we'll see Gilles. Thank you.
Thank you. Grazie mille. Bocca al lupo.
Well, Mattia was saying much the same, I seem to recall, in Imola, that they didn't quite feel that they had the right setup on the car. So there's obviously work that they need to be looking at. VSR Vincenzo Sospiri's team, very experienced, good engineering backup, good engineering basis. Of course, Vincenzo Sospiri as a driver will very much be in sympathy with the drivers when they're going, it's understeering and we don't know how to deal with it. And looking at that, but yeah, struggling to follow Amaury Bonduel. We saw him close in when he was in clear air, but then once he got close, And that's really the problem with, particularly with a single category like this, where all the cars are the same, is that your acceleration is the same, your grip levels are the same, the braking distances are the same, the top speed is the same. So once you get in the turbulence behind, then you end up with tyres overheating, brakes overheating, driver overheating, nerves fraying and jangling, and it becomes very hard to pass. Well, those drive-through penalties will be converted into 30 seconds added to the time of cars number 24, 40 and 75. So their respective battles will be torpedo below the waterline. 75 currently lying in 6th place in the Lamborghini Cup, but should still score points. Shootout Sava. Where is Forte? I'm not going to take my eyes off the screen for too much longer, because I sort of sense that I think the safety car's too far around. We're not coming in this lap. I think we were going to do one more behind the safety car, and that will leave us with a one-lap dash for the cash, which is probably not a phrase that anybody in Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe wants to use. I think we will go green-white checker, basically. Safety car stays out. 5 minutes. Last lap was a 4:08 lap. That is a lap behind the safety car. So assuming the safety car comes in this lap, they might just get to the line before the checkered flag. Safety car's not coming in. It's going to be very close. Safety car in this lap. Well, again, race director responding to the information he's been given by the marshal's post, by the head of the marshal's post on the ground. Yes, give us 2 more minutes, we'll be out of your way, the flatbed will be gone, and that will allow them to bring the safety car in. Quick chance to catch up with Dakota Jane in the pit lane and our AM class leaders.
A great advantage in our AM. You're looking to win the race. How are you feeling? The safety car is just going to come in a minute. Is your teammate ready?
I hope so. I try to do my best to keep pushing on the first stint to make a gap. With the safety car, it's really more complicated now for Piero, because he have a lot of pro guys just in the back. So I just hope he can be safe. Maybe also just let buy some cars to just keep the P1 in AM is the objective.
Have you told him that?
Yeah, I told him, but when you have everybody in the front, in the back, it's not easy to be focused. But I hope.
Good luck. Bonne chance. Let's go back and watch. I think they're going to come in now. Yeah.
So that was Stefano Trebordini in the 66 VSR car, leads the AM class. They lie in 10th. His teammate, Pier Giacomo Randazzo. That's a racing driver's name, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? He lies in 10th place. His closest AM class rival is Han Huilin of China in 17th place. But the problem is, when you're in 10th and you might have only 1 lap of Spa, if you start letting people through, do you know when to stop letting people through? Do you follow me? Once you open the sluice gates and you're offline, you're on the dirty part of the track, then you want to shut the door. Oh, hello. Amory Bonduelle fancies his chances of winning this race, doesn't he? This could be a very, very entertaining final lap. Inside the last 3 minutes. The lights will go out on the safety car at the end of timing sector 2. And there we go. And we will go green at the end of this one. So Benedetto Strignano leads. Pressure will come, no question, from the goal car of Amory Bonduelle. Then Gilles Stadsbader, then the 2 yellow cars, Yessi Semeniauto with the pink highlights and the very, very hard to distinguish orange highlights, Edgar Malouin. Oh, he's finally in the car. He's been in the car all the way since the pit stop, but the team have finally told him to change the driver ID over. And then Egor Oredchev ahead of Largim Ali. The points leaders are in 9th place for Target Racing. I beg pardon, in 7th place for Target Racing. So here we go. 1 to go as we go green. 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes and 30 seconds plus will be their lap times. So it is right on the white line. Benedetto Strignano guards the inside, and Amaury Bonduelle goes very wide. Gilles Stadsbader has a little look, and here comes Jesse Salmon-Yalto. Look at the yellow Iron Lynx car. Salmon-Yalto looking for third, but looking for the lead. Is Bonduelle going to send it down the inside into Eau Rouge? No, he's going to pressure Strignano into making a mistake on the way up the hill, and then try and tow up behind him. The Iron Lynx driver has made a move, though. Salmon-Yalto's up to third. Orodchev does not get fourth. He was just briefly ahead of Stadsbader, or alongside him, but doesn't get it, and a challenge for the lead. Bonduelle has to send it deep, has to send it now, can't get through. And behind Salmon-Yalto, Stadsbader is in trouble. Igor Orodchev trying to get by massive black lines in the tarmac from Benedetto Strignano. Benny trying to hang on desperately for Amaury Bonduelle. This might fall into the hands of the Iron Lynx car in third. Yes, Salmon-Yalto, the Finnish driver, is right in it. And through goes Amaury Bonduelle. He takes the lead. Last lap here at Spa. Amaury Bonduelle leads. Benny coming down the inside. Benedetto Strignano can't get through. Sweeping down through the double left-handers, and trouble out in the gravel is the number 6 car. Gilles Stadsbader and Igor Orodchev both off the track, and that promotes another couple of Iron Lynx cars up the order. But it is Amaury Bonduelle who leads from Benedetto Strignano and Jesse Salmon-Yalto. There's the top 3 coming through into 4th place. Is that Largim Ali in the Target Racing car with the green highlights? Wow, the championship leaders have jumped both of those, or one of the Iron Lynx cars. Edgar Marouin and Pavel Lefterov behind, 41, the next of the Iron Lynx cars. Iron Lynx with 3 cars in the top 6. It's a resounding result for the team running these cars, but the checkered flag awaits. Amaury Bonduelle looking for his 2nd win of the season and throwing it in the inside. Jesse Salmon-Yalto had to go, had to try it at the bus stop. Great defense from Benedetto Strignano. Runs out wide. It's a long run to the checkered flag, but he takes it in 2nd. Salmon-Yalto 3rd, and Largim Ali in 4th position. That car was barely in the top 10 before the pit stops. And who's dropped down the order? Somebody has stopped. That's Mela. Oh, that's his 30-second penalty being applied, isn't it? That's where suddenly cars are going to start dropping down the order as a result of those penalties being applied when they take the checkered flag. Well, 50 minutes of racing and 1 lap to sort it all out. Amaury Bonduelle, he was always in the position where he could have made that difference, and his confidence is such that he did make that difference. Winner of race 2 in Imola, he finished in 5th place in the rainy, chaotic race 1. It was red flagged after monsoon weather conditions. Charlie Martin missing the pit entry road, heading off for another free lap of Spa-Francorchamps. I'm afraid that's probably not going to go down too well with race control. Okay, so our top 3 we followed. Obviously our 3-class battles, we didn't really have time to go back to those. The good news in AM class is Pier Giacomo Randazzo, who was 7th at the restart, only allowed 2 cars to go by him, so wins in the AM class. 2nd is Target Racing's Han Hui Lin, and 3rd, 19th place, Schumacher CLRT's Stefan Guerin. In Pro-Am, Boots and VDS, Renault Coupens, 2nd win of the season for that number 2 machine. And Mechanic Motorsports, Bronick Formanek is 2nd in Pro-Am. 3rd is Joran Lanuch in the 4th Iron Lynx car, possibly the 5th Iron Lynx car in the top 20. And here's the moment of truth. Amaury Bonduelle coming out of Les Combes and down into Rivage. Bruxelles, as it's now named, after the capital for Belgium, of course, but formerly named Rivage after the village to which it is closest. Over to driver's left. Jackie X curve, completing that pass, and Amaury Bonduelle first to the line, where he led all the first part of the race, only lost the lead in the pit stops because his pit stop as a solo driver has to be 3 seconds longer than those of the drivers who are sharing a ride, and he dropped down then to third place, got ahead of the number 6 car at the restart. The Mattia Michelotto started, Gilles Stadsbader finished car, and Gilles then in trouble with Igor Orodchev as he tried to hang on to third place. Both of them dropping way down the order, and they will finish outside the top 40. So a very long way from points, which is not what Michelotto and Stadsbader had in view when they were looking at the start of the race, starting from the front row. Pretty much expect to finish in the top 2, not outside the top 40. Second safety car procedure will be examined by the stewards, but that is the standard practice. There may be post-race penalties. We will catch up with those and any other news in tomorrow morning's second encounter, because the drivers will have a decent night's sleep, but in 14 hours from now, they will be back and suiting up to start race 2. Now, for the 2 driver lineups, the drivers that finished race 1 were the second qualifiers, and they will start race 2. And the drivers that started race 1 who qualified first will be the second drivers in race 2. So they each have a chance to start and each have a chance to hopefully finish well. But for the single drivers like Amaury Bonduelle, then there's the chance to start and finish the race and do everything in between. And our final winner, by the way, did I tell you who won in AM? Yes, AM I did. Pro-Am I did. And the Lamborghini Cup winner was Holger Harmsen's GT3 Poland entry, car number 90, and he finished in 25th place. And second and third, Paolo Bilieri and Charlie Martin. So Charlie Martin starting right at the tail of the field and claiming another podium in the Lamborghini Cup class. Charlie Martin won. I'm now doubting myself in my head somewhere. Yeah, they did. They won the first race. She and Jason Keats. And she had to have a drive-through penalty. That's why she was so far back at the beginning, because her teammate had to pull out for force majeure reasons. And so Charlie Martin drove in on her own. So not only had to do a drive-through for that force majeure withdrawal, but also ended up having to do an extra 3 seconds of pit stop as well, and still finishes on the Lamborghini Cup podium. So coming here 4th in points with a 1st and a 7th. Now add a 3rd place finish to that. That is going to look very nice indeed. But our winner in Lamborghini Cup, Holger Harmsen, was second in both races in Imola and is the points leader. There, however, Amaury Bonduelle taking his 2nd win of the season, his 2nd consecutive victory after winning race 2 in Imola, 5th in the rain confusion in race 1, and offers his congratulations to his rivals. So what a busy race. Well, for the front row starters, Amaury Bonduelle in gold, Mattia Michelotto in white. Very different results from what looked like a very close race. There was contact from a couple of cars in the first corner. Michelotto had to hold off a hard-charging Alberto Di Folco, who'd come up from 4th on the grid to attack him into the first couple of corners. As everybody else explored the limits of adhesion and track, there was more contact. In the end, number 14, Davide Roda getting turned around there and then ended up off the road. Also had problems for the number 27 car, Stéphane Lemeret. The only one to find the gravel traps or the off-road areas. Bit of unintentional rally crossing from Karim Ojay. Karim then retiring from the race as a result of an incident. Battle for the lead Good effort from Mattia Michelotto, but just couldn't quite get around Amaury Bonduelle. That was towards the end of the first stint, just before the stints were due to end. 3-car pile-up brought out the safety car. Brought an end to a few battles. This tasty-looking trio dicing in the Lamborghini Cup towards the tail of the field. And there, that's the car that brought out the first safety car, car number 14, Davide Road. And I do wonder whether that spin was the result of a right rear puncture maybe, or something collapsing after that initial contact. Well, at the restart from behind the safety car, the pit stops had been completed. Safety car was forced out for a second time in the middle of the second stint. A 3-car pile-up down on the exit of Pif Paf. Cars being abandoned in the gravel and needing rescuing. Gave us a chance to go green for one final lap, and Amaury Bonduelle putting in the move on Benedetto Strignano to go around the outside of the then race leader, who had taken the lead during the pit stops because of some excellent pit work by the Villorba Corsa team. And then Jesse Salmoniauto, 4 iron links up the inside in the very final run through the bus stop. Could not quite take second place, but finished third ahead of points leader Largim Ali. And that is how they ended up. The Oliver Söderström Largim Ali Target racing car, which finished in first place in race 1 and second place in race 2 in Imola. The points leaders coming in here have another strong result. 4th place finish, decent points for them. And that is very good news indeed for them. They will retain the points lead ahead of our race 1 winner here, Amaury Bonduelle. Further back, Pier Giacomo Randazzo winning AM from Han Hulin and Stefan Goran. In Pro-Am, Renaud Coupens taking victory from Bronek Formanek and Joran Lernerch. And in Lamborghini Cup, Holger Harmsen ahead of Paolo Bilieri and Charlie Martin. Well, just a handful of cars failing to make it all the way through. 3 cars shown as not completing the race. A couple more, or 3 more, Adrian Lewandowski, Alfredo Hernandez Ortega and Luciano Privitello also needing rescuing from the gravel towards the end. So 47th, 48th, 49th classified, but weren't actually running at the flag. Hampus Eriksson, Davide Rueda, his teammate didn't even get to drive, and Karim Oj retiring too early to make it to 3/4 distance and be qualified as a finisher. But the winner of the race for the 2nd consecutive time is Amaury Bonduelle, BDR competition by Gruppo Prom, and he is with Dakota Jane.
Congratulations, Amaury. What a fantastic race. You were really dominant right to the end. Super aggressive move at the last. What were you thinking? What was going through your mind?
It was my only opportunity for the win. I appreciate a little bit the Villorba car. Yeah, I think it's the harder race of my life. I'm super happy. I think we are not the faster on the track, but we win the race, and I'm super happy.
What does it feel like to win at home in Belgium, on your home soil, and probably one of your favorite tracks?
Yes, I'm happy to win at home because all of my fun is there, and I hope for tomorrow we win the race.
Not too much celebrating tonight, but congratulations.
Yeah.
Amaury Bonduelle will have to stay off the left until at least tomorrow morning. But a 2nd win this season under his belt. Young Belgian. Young Walloon, I think we should say. Speaking Belgian, so this is very much not just his home country, but his home region.
coordinator. Third place, Giorgio Amati and Jesse Salmenocchio.
A chance to receive their trophies.
On the second place,
Third place for Iron Links. Jesse Salmenocchio, who gave it everything in that final corner, and Giorgio Amati in second. Did I say third? Yes, second place is Benedetto Strignano. And his Villorba course teammate, who we heard from in the race, Alberto Di Folco, and the race winner, Amaury Bonduel. So Amaury being run by BDR Competition. And they receive the team's prize. That is it. That is your overall and pro podium here for the third race of the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe 2024.
And we can have some champagne.
Our winners also from the AM class, the Pro-Am class, and the Lamborghini Cup class still to come. And Amaury Bonduel putting the champagne to good use, clearing the podium for the next ceremony. Well, that is it until Saturday morning here. We will have our cars back on track a little after 9 a.m. Central European summertime, so you can join us for that. Until then, from me, Martin Haven, and everybody else in the Lamborghini Super Trofeo Europe, we'll see you then. Bye for now.